So Nina Turner went on CNN and they spoke about Manchin and Sinema and the negotiation going on right now for the reconciliation bill. And she lights up Democratic Party hack Paul Begala. This is glorious to see.
Well, I am glad that they are talking, but talks with Senator Manchin has been happening for a very long time, including the President of the United States himself. I am glad that Senator Sanders had the courage to smoke out Senator Manchin by writing that op-ed, forcing him to have this conversation. So conversation is always good, but it just can't go on forever because, Brianna, the longer they are in talks, the less likelihood we're going to have the strong package that is needed to elevate and to uplift the American people who need it the most. And this cannot be pushed down the road because we don't know what may happen in 2022. So we need to get this done right now.
Frankly, I think Manchin is more progressive than he gets credit for. And I think Bernie is more pragmatic. I love that these two guys are talking.
All right, Senator Turner,
Brianna,
for progressives,
Brianna,
Sorry, go on.
The labels, I'm so sorry. Pragmatic, practical. People are literally losing their lives and their livelihoods while people play games. We are already at the compromise position, and that is what we must understand here. And look, the overwhelming majority of West Virginians agree with this. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the United States of America, and you have a senator who is set for the rest of his natural life, and so are his children and his children's children. And he want to negotiate away. Senator Manchin, what do you want to negotiate away? Is it child care? Is it the implosion of Mother Earth? Is it health care? What is it, Brianna? He is not saying what it is. So this is not about who's pragmatic and who's practical and who's progressive. This really is about, in this moment, whose side you are on. And let the American people remember this. $6 trillion was the original number. We are down to $3.5 trillion. How low are we going to go to sacrifice the poor, the working poor, and the barely middle class in the United States of America? Hell, the Senate just gave, I think, $10 billion more dollars to the military budget than what was asked for. But then you want the American people to take crumbs. It's just unconscionable.
I love Paul Begala's face at the end there when he just got schooled. He's like, what do I say now? What do I do now? Can I get some talking points from Gottheimer, please? Oh my God. Needless to say, Nina's 100% correct. They did just add more money to the military budget. More money. We already spend more than the next 10 or 12 biggest countries combined, and most of those countries are our allies. And notice something. When we talk about the military budget, why do we talk about it over the period of 1 year? When we talk about the reconciliation bill, we talk about the price tag over 10 years. Notice the asymmetry there. So in other words, the military budget is about $8 trillion over a decade. Nobody calls it the $8 trillion bill. But this reconciliation bill, they call the $3.5 trillion bill. It's really $350 billion a year. So we're spending way more on the military than we are on programs that materially help the American people and fix our country. And the real issue here is you have the vast majority of Democratic lawmakers are actually on the right page for this thing, and it's two who are blocking it. Now, when you look at the specifics of what's going on with those two senators who are blocking it, you find out they are totally bought and owned by industry. Kyrsten Sinema has been doing a cocktail circuit tour, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars from every single corporate interest lined up against this bill. Hobnobbing with lobbyists, taking, $920,000 from Big Pharma as she comes out against lowering prescription drug prices when she previously ran on lowering prescription drug prices. Call that what it is. It's not centrism. It's not moderation. It's not an honest ideological disagreement. It is corruption brought about by legalized bribery from industry. That's what it is. Now, why is almost nobody telling you that in mainstream media? Thankfully, Nina Turner goes on there and lays down the law. Joe Manchin makes more money from the dirtiest coal plant in West Virginia every year than he does from his own salary as a senator. He makes $180,000 or so for senator, about $500,000 per year from the dirtiest coal plant in West Virginia. His daughter works for a pharmaceutical industry and was caught price gouging on EpiPens. They are bought and owned by corporations. This isn't an honest ideological disagreement. And so we're having a conversation about the price tag, and call it the reconciliation bill, which is just the Senate procedure, which is how we're getting it done, instead of talking about it as what? The child tax benefit bill, the universal pre-K bill, the paid family leave bill, the paid medical leave bill, the tuition-free community college bill, the lower prescription drug cost bill, the dental, hearing, and vision Medicare expansion bill, the home care bill, the housing bill, the climate change bill, the immigration reform bill, the lower Medicare age bill, the Obamacare expansion bill. Like, this is the stuff that's actually in it. And as Nina pointed out, yeah, the original position of the left was $10 trillion. Biden's position was $6 trillion. They came all the way down to $3.5 trillion. And now we're being told, not only do you need to do one more round of compromise, which, okay, I get it. In the reconciliation process, that's what happens. But you have to compromise on that compromise too, and negotiate against yourself, and then get all the way down to, now we're talking about $1.75 trillion? I mean, it's a sick joke. It's a sick joke. And they're probably going to strip all the climate stuff out of there. They're going to leave kick key provisions to the curb. I mean, listen, I'd vote no if it's like this. I would have to vote no. I have no choice but to vote no. And it's not on me, it's on them. You know, this is the point that Nina's making. You already have the deal. You already have the compromise position, and it's not the left that is the problem here that's reneging on the deal. It's Manchin and Sinema. They're the problem. And Paul Begala, Democratic Party hack, isn't it wonderful that there's a process where we continue to make things worse and worse and worse and worse and worse? And Nina's like, it's not about the process. It's about the people who are being impacted. This is disgraceful. And the fact of the matter is, they are not front and center. They don't care about those people. They care more about their donors, which is why the military budget always gets massive increases and nobody bats an eyelash. Nobody. So because Raytheon and Boeing and Halliburton and Honeywell and KBR and Lockheed Martin and all of them, because they give so much money to the politicians, there is no whining and crying about the deficit and the debt and can we afford this? They just do it. And then if they're pressed on it, they say, well, it's a moral necessity. You don't want to protect America? Well, then allow me to flip that argument right back on everybody whining about the price tag and wanting to negotiate the reconciliation bill down further. This is about protecting my fellow Americans. Do you not want to protect your fellow Americans? Do you not want them to have paid family leave and paid medical leave? Do you have any idea how much higher depression and anxiety rates are because of that? How much harder it is to keep families together? I mean, it's really an anti-family position if you're against paid family leave and paid medical leave. You're going to be against you want to means test the child tax benefit? You want to means test that. And Joe Manchin said it's $60,000. You know what that means? If a mother makes $31,000 and a father makes $31,000, then that's too much money to get the child tax benefit. So you're just coming out in favor of child poverty at that point. So the military bill is a moral necessity at $8 trillion over 10 years. But helping children whose parents collectively make $61,000 to keep them out of poverty, that's not a moral necessity. It's a sick joke. And people better keep pointing it out. And look at how vapid and vacuous the commentary is from a Democratic Party hack who rah Democrats all day long. Look at what Paul Begala says. I love that these guys are talking. Talking is good. I enjoy talking. Don't you enjoy talking? I think Bernie's more pragmatic than he gets credit for, and Joe Manchin is further left than he gets credit for. Tee-hee-hee. And Nina Turner's over there trying hard as hell to not facepalm and start screaming. And she's right. Because this is the type of conversation that we have in elite media. Which is why all of you are much bigger fans of new media, because we tell the truth in a hell of a lot more clear and concise way than they do, and they're not even really concerned with the truth. Well, thankfully, Nina Turner is, and she did a wonderful job there. One more point on Paul Begala saying that, I think Joe Manchin is more progressive than he gets credit for. 538 tracked the voting records of all the senators, and I think all the Congress people too, and they had this feature where they compare it to Trump's voting record, so you know what percentage of the time they vote with Donald Trump. Joe Manchin voted with Donald Trump. I believe the number was 50% of the time. 50%. may have been 60, but I think it was 50. So half the time he votes with Donald Trump, and which means half the time he votes with Republicans, and he's called more progressive than people give him credit for. A joke. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.